Hey, what's up everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are doing the Ortiz versus Bohachuk Is On video, as Virgil Ortiz, the undefeated super welterweight contender at 154, is lined up to return Saturday, August 10th in the main event of a DAZN card, as he will challenge for the WBC Interim super welterweight title against the hard-hitting Ukrainian Sergey Bohachuk. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So, guys, if you're not excited for this fight, you're tripping, because this is, if you're a Virgil Ortiz fan, which I find it hard to believe if you're not one, this is the biggest fight of his career by far. You look at on paper, everything, he has not faced a tougher opponent coming into a fight than Sergey Bohachuk. You know, you can argue the biggest fights of his career to this point were former champ Maurice Hooker, who had already been defeated, you know, by a knockout. I think Hooker fought Ortiz at 147 as well, which wasn't the weight where Hooker was a world champion. He moved up. And then the Mean Machine, Edijus Kavaliauskas, who had fought for a world title against Crawford a couple years before, and Ortiz stopped him. Bohachuk is dangerous. I mean, you know, for all intents and purposes, only one loss on his resume, and that was to Brandon Adams when he got stopped in the 8th round of a fight that he was winning comfortably. He was up 4 points on 2 scorecards, and so that means he was, after 7 rounds, you know, and then one scorecard even had him up 5 points. So he had won 6, you know, maybe 5 and 6 of the first 7 rounds, and then got stopped in the 8th round against Brandon Adams. That was back in 2021. But this guy is 24-1 with 23 knockouts. His only decision was his last fight against Brian Mendoza, who he fought on late notice. He was supposed to fight Sebastian Fundora for the vacant WBC title. It was supposed to be Bohachuk fighting for the title against Fundora. And when Keith Thurman had to pull out of the fight, the WBC agreed with Tim Tszyu and Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora for this to be for the vacant WBC title, their fight, so we would have a unified champ. And Bohachuk would take on Brian Mendoza on late notice and would dominate him over 12 one-sided rounds to capture the WBC interim title. Virgil Ortiz was supposed to fight Tim Tszyu on August 3rd on the Crawford-Madrimov undercard, and had to pull Tim Tszyu had to pull out because the cut that he suffered in the fight with Fundora wasn't going to be fully healed by August 3rd. So now Ortiz does potentially one better by fighting a Bohachuk, who, if you guys have not seen Bohachuk, he's a good fucking fighter. You look at his resume, Ukrainian born. I mean, this guy is a tough motherfucker with some power. You know, he really does. So, he's got a 2-inch height and a 3-inch reach advantage on Virgil heading in. So Virgil is in against a big guy that can hit. This is the ultimate test for Virgil Ortiz Jr. It really is. Undefeated, 21-0, 21 knockouts. He's the only advantage he has over Bohachuk, well, 2 of them. He's undefeated where Bohachuk isn't. So we know that Bohachuk is vulnerable to an extent. You know, at least he was at one point. So that shows a chink in the armor. The other thing is age. He's 3 years younger, but 29 to 26, is that really a big difference? I don't think it is. But again, Virgil Ortiz, he's going against the odds here, you know, in terms of height and reach and all that, and he's fighting a fellow power puncher. Someone's getting fucking knocked out in this fight, guys. I'm sorry. There's no other way to split it. Someone's getting knocked out in this fight. It's gonna be a good ass fight. I'm telling you that right now. It's a fight I'm doing a breakdown video over. This fight, I'll probably do the breakdown at the end of next week. I am really fucking looking forward to this fight that takes place on August 10th on DAZN. I love that the best are fighting the best, and Bohachuk wants the best. Ortiz wants the best. The winner becomes the interim champion, puts themselves in line for potentially the winner of Errol Spence and Sebastian Fundora. You know, they might have to wait until after Terrence, the winner of Crawford and Madrimov, becomes the WBO mandatory, and WBO mandatory is ahead of the WBCs. But they might, they might end up getting a guy like Tim Tszyu in the process, because Tim Tszyu is planning a return later in the year, and Tim Tszyu and Virgil Ortiz want to fight. They made that clear already. So this is an exciting fight right here. Saturday, August 10th on DAZN. I really cannot wait to see this battle between these two hard-hitting fighters. So Ortiz versus Bohachuk is on for the WBC Interim Super Welterweight Championship at 154 pounds. Saturday, August 10th on DAZN. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.